We are finally doing the freaking love story tag. It's only been like 2 or 3 weeks of me talking about it. Are you pumped yet?
I'm pumped.
This is my husband, Eric. I don't think he has not been in any of my TTC vlogs. He has been in a couple of our just regular daily vlogs that I haven't put up in forever. So anyway, we'll just jump right to it. How did you meet?
I think we met in church.
Yeah. Okay, well, growing up, we lived like a street away from each other. And I was actually really good friends with his little brother all through high school because we were, closer in age. There is like a fuzz on my lip. Eric and I never really crossed paths because we were 3.5 years, difference in age. Eric was always the hot kid in our ward, and growing up, we all, everyone got to stare at him. So anyway.
I was skinnier back then.
We both were. Look what marriage has done to us.
Yeah.
We met. Someone gave him my number, and he thought it was a joke, and started texting me to make sure, and here we are. First impressions. What was your first impression of me?
When we met?
Yeah. Like on our first date.
I told her good friend that I thought that she could be a model. So that was my first impression. I thought she was gorgeous.
Oh. My first impression was super hot, and he always had a girlfriend, and whatever, and he has these cute dimples, and apparently we were really attracted to each other. Describe your first date.
Our first date was I took her bowling.
It was awesome. 2 minutes after he came and got me and we were on our way, I knew we were going bowling, but I didn't know it was his whole family. So then I got nervous.
Not my parents, just my brothers.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of them. But 2 minutes after he came and got me, it was instantly comfortable, and he was hilarious and adorable, and he had a really nice car, and
the complete package.
Yeah, it was the complete package. Who said I love you first?
I said I love you first, and she always says that she would have said it way sooner if I didn't, but I got around to it. But it was her birthday, and we were up at her grandma's house, who lives up behind the state capitol where we live, and it's way up on a hill and overlooks all of the whole Salt Lake Valley. And we happened to be up there on her birthday, and I just got it in my mind to say it then on the porch because it was the perfect backdrop. And that's what I did. And I had to say it twice before she said it back, but whatever.
No, not even.
Yeah. I said it, and there was just long pause.
And I was like,
and I was starting to So I snuck it in because then we started to hug. So I said it again, quieter. And
I do not remember it that way.
She finally said it back.
I was telling my best friend, who was also a mutual friend of ours, that I was he's not saying it. He hasn't said it yet, and I really feel it. So I'm just gonna say it. I know we both feel this way. I'm just gonna say it if he doesn't. Because I was waiting for him to say it. And
but how perfect a situation was it?
It was, now that I look back at it, but at the time I didn't know that's how it was going to happen. So I was getting to the point where I was I'm gonna say it if he doesn't. Then when he finally did say it, I knew he was going to, because all of a sudden we're saying goodbye to each other and he's hugging me, and I can feel his heart beating so fast, and he's shaking, and I was yes, finally. And then he said it, and it was really cute, and I said it back immediately. I think it just felt like a long time.
Whatever, dude.
We'll agree to disagree. Tell us about an embarrassing moment.
I don't know, not that come right to mind. We're two incredibly goofy people, and we never hold anything back, and I feel we're never trying to be restrained around each other, so I don't know, I'm having a hard time coming up with one. We're
really comfortable around each other. I don't feel like I have ever been embarrassed in front of you or anything like that, so I can't think of anything.
There's no one moment that was horrible.
When did you know that they were the one?
I knew pretty early. We only dated. How long did we date before we were engaged? 6 months?
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew pretty quick.
I feel like I knew that you were the one before, 2 weeks later. I just could see him as a father to my children. I could see him as my eternal companion. I just knew.
Match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm. I was just gonna say that. Literally just gonna say that.
We're awesome.
See? Did we have a long or short engagement?
I think by world standards, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
People nowadays are engaged for like a year or more.
Yeah.
Or like 10 years.
We were engaged
before they ever get married.
5 months.
But yeah.
And it felt like forever.
It did feel like forever because if you live in Utah and if you're Mormon, you know that's like pretty
2 or 3 months is like...
That's like a long time.
An engagement.
But...
Like, we can throw weddings together like...
Yeah. A lot happened in that time. Like we got jobs that got switched around. We like changed where we were living. So it worked out because...
In the holidays, like we got married in the beginning of January. So, we had the holidays and stuff.
It felt like a long time, but it worked out.
Where did you get married and was your wedding big or small? We got married in the Salt Lake Temple. Kind of like an all-day thing, like most weddings. But so in the morning we had our ceremony in the temple with a close, just close family and friends. I mean, there was probably 50 people in our,
Maybe, barely that much. The room we get married in is like, kind of when you get married, it's like by invite only. Like there's only a select amount of people that you bring into that room when you're actually married. If you're LDS and you know how it works, and it makes sense. But if not, you just go in a room and you like the ceremony happens, and it's like immediate family and really close friends. And then after that, when you leave the temple, everyone else who you invited can come, and you come out the doors of the temple and everyone's there to greet you.
Cheer for us!
And there's a ton of really cool like photo op opportunities. So the photographer's there, and you walk around the Salt Lake Temple grounds. It's this huge property, and there's tons of like
gorgeous.
Cool trees and buildings and fountains and just awesome views. So you walk around and get a picture. And then when that's done, then you go do what people would think would be the normal marriage things, like go have the luncheon and your reception and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So we actually didn't do a ring ceremony for like all of our guests to watch. There was only a few people who got to see that. So it was really special.
That happened in the room in the temple.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of, just really private. And then when we got to the reception, we had a line, and then people, could come in and talk to us and, whatever, enjoy our treats and stuff.
So as far as how big it was, it's not like it was a thing where you invite a ton of people and they sit down and watch you get married like you see on TV. The reception is the part where everybody comes to see you. So, and it's kind of a format where you just come in and a line forms and you just walk past and greet everyone.
I would say like 200 people came.
Yeah.
I'll put in pictures at the end of this video of our wedding so you can kind of see that. Do you have nicknames for each other?
I honestly just call her Babe a lot, and I never say her name because it sounds really, really weird when I say her name. Like if we're just hanging out at home or with family or whatever and I just say Megan, it's like the weirdest thing. It's like so out of our element. I never call her by her name. I don't know why. I just never do.
Well, ever since like we knew, I don't know, like ever since we got really close, like when we were dating, he always called me Babe or Baby. And that was it. That was it from then on. Like, I never heard him say my name. And then there's been a couple times where he's been like, Megan. And I'm like, what?
Don't you ever say that again.
Yeah, don't you say that to me.
It just sounds weird now.
Yeah, and I call him Babe or Baby or Sweetie or...
We actually have a million nicknames. It's just whatever we feel like saying.
Yeah.
But it's never really...
We've got like a lot of like joking nicknames. Like we'll joke around and be like, come here, sugar pop or whatever.
I called her Booger Nose at my parents once and they were all like, what?
Yeah.
And they all started laughing.
Rude,
That's funny. Just whatever came to my mind.
Yeah. So we don't have, kind of lame in that department, I guess. What makes your love last?
I feel like it's because, kind of like we said earlier, we're not afraid to be ourselves around each other. We're always just like upfront and open about everything. We never fight a lot, and when we do fight, we make sure to talk about it and get it resolved. Like before we go to bed, we never go to bed angry or feuding over anything, and we're just totally open. Yeah.
And I think also, and I'm sure, like, I know a couple of the other tags said this too, but it's true. Like, I honestly feel like this is how relationships last, is we laugh constantly. And we laugh together. Like, I'll laugh at him or vice versa, or we're laughing at the same thing. Like, we try to share a common ground and we have the same humor. And so I don't think there's a day that goes by that I'm not, laughing so hard that I have cry face or whatever. Because I think he's just so funny.
Probably the maddest I've been in recent memory is when she laughed harder at a psychic.
No, he wasn't a psychic. He was a hypnotist at our fair.
Yeah, she laughed really, really hard at a hypnotist at the fair.
And he got all jealous.
And it was the hardest I've ever seen her laugh. And I was just like, because this is our life. We're just constantly laughing. And I always make her laugh really hard. And then she laughed at some stupid hypnotist. And I was just like...
I wasn't laughing at the hypnotist. I was laughing at the people that he hypnotized. I want to add this into it. I think it's what's really important in our relationship is our religion. You know, I've mentioned in other videos that we're LDS and we got married in our temple, and whether you're LDS or whether you don't believe in God or whatever, I feel like you need to share in your relationship that same belief, whatever that belief is. We feel strongly about our church, and we, completely believe it, and that's something that, we've never been really in question. It's just always been known that, this is what we believe, and we pray together, we read our scriptures together, we go to church together, we go to our temple. I mean, that's something that I feel like the closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other.
Yeah. And we don't take marriage lightly, and I know that I'm sure nobody does, but it's not like this thing in Hollywood where you get married and then you mess up and you get a divorce and it's over.
Yeah.
We believe, and the reason why we get married in a temple is that when we get married, it's for eternity. It doesn't just end when we die. It's going to go on forever. Mm-hmm. And we make promises and sacred covenants to each other and to God in the temple when we get married, and we believe those are binding. So we just work that much harder to make sure that we're, always treating each other the best we can, and that we're always in love, because it is going to last forever. That's what we believe, and it's not just going to end after we die.
We've been pretty fortunate too in our marriage that we've never, everyone says the first year of marriage is hard, or, Eric and I didn't live with each other before we were married. We had never had sex before we got married. So we were both...
We hung out every single day.
On our wedding night. Everyone was really worried about us. I mean, and like most people who haven't lived together or slept together before they get married, they were really worried that it would be rocky at first, and we'd have to learn to live with each other.
What don't you know about this person that you would have learned if you had actually been living together, kind of stuff.
We were really fortunate. We just kind of just rolled into the whole thing really smoothly. We never had a problem with living together or learning new things about each other or seeing someone poop on the toilet or whatever. It just kind of, happened or whatever. It's life. And I think we were just so excited to be married and to, start this next step in our lives. And same thing when we got, when we did the house searching and that stressful situation, and we just kind of handled it it wasn't that hard for us. And so I always would tell Eric, I wonder what our trial is going to be. Our life is so good. What is our trial going to be? We do everything together. We are so happy, and now we know what our trial is. Trying to have a baby and trying to start our family. That's our trial. And,
But it's a good trial to have, because it's something that we can go through together.
Yeah. And it's nice to have someone by your side to go through it with you, because it is such a hard thing to do and to go through, and what better person to go through it with than your spouse. But we're really fortunate that we get to go through trials together as a team and not have our trials be, relationship wise, we're not at each other all the time, or at each other's throat or whatever. So we have a pretty awesome marriage. Yep. That what we believe will last, not just on this earth, but after this life and through eternity. And I know he hears me complain a lot about this whole freaking baby thing and how hard it is and whatever, but as weak as I am, he's that much stronger so that we can balance each other out. Anyway, this video is so long. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to edit so much out.
You rambled a lot.
Okay.
Did you know?
Okay, so I'll edit a bunch out, but if I don't, I'm sorry, it's such a long video, but watch it. There's no cats in this video. We locked him out.
Yeah, I shut him out.
So that's a plus. And I finally am uploading it after talking about it for a few weeks. And also, disclosure, I've been sick all day with a sinus something or other. So that's why I look like this, so don't judge me. Thanks for watching. We should like this.